What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Let's dive into the daily market recap. Getting into this a little bit early before the close, so the market is still open. I'm just going to talk through what we know, at least so far, and markets are just trending right now. So we have this ATR and key level up 68.43. We'll see if we can push up toward that. We've been defending 68.21. So just overall with the market, pretty bullish price action. One day is not a trend. And yesterday we had an outside day, big gap down, 1% drop, back test 68.20 and fail. But then in the overnight session, which let me switch over to that. Let's go to SPX 500 here. You can see we dipped below, swept these lows, and then recovered, which is very, very textbook. I was talking about that with Space Monkey this morning, is a very common scenario that plays out in a bullish environment where you get a big move lower and then gap below, but recover into the open. It just catches everyone that may have been short off sides, right? So if you're overnight, you're short from the, for expecting a gap down, you're like, oh, I'm going to get paid. And then only for price to reverse higher and recapture those lows, you're kind of, either going to cut for break even or a loss. And then, shorts just kind of stay off sides from there. And big picture context, we're just holding the overall trend, which is important. So this was good to see today. I would consider this overall constructive. I think we still need to stay nimble overall. The range is expanding a bit, but this so far is pretty bullish. So we'll see how it develops over the rest of the week. And it was encouraging to see some good playbook trades today, which we can cover a couple of them. I unfortunately didn't capitalize on them, but as I kind of said, I was sizing down today and a bit of a drawdown. So just taking a step back. What I like to do when this is the case is it's part of trading. It's not the fun part, but what is very important that I've found over the years is when you take a step back, it just allows you to kind of like absorb information, absorb price, get a sense for what's working. And really it's more about tuning in. It's like fine tuning, trying to get dialed back into, what isn't working and what is working. And so today I was not in any kind of, I wasn't putting any pressure to, trade too much. I was looking to take one shot with small size as just a way to get back involved. And when that didn't work out, I just was like, okay, I'll just keep watching price. And there were a couple of things that did set up that looked good. So the trade that I took today is also, it's important to go through this because of the mindset. I've been able to establish this mindset because I've been doing this a long time. But if you're newer, this could be helpful for you. Even in coming back from a drawdown from the highs, going into today with the intention to size smaller and take one trade, and then it not working, it's super important just to stay objective. You don't want to get caught up in your emotions or get frustrated. It is what it is. This is a perfect example of a loss to take objectively, right? So this is a very textbook playbook trade. You have Uber, which put in a huge failed breakdown of the trend and this key level at 91 yesterday off earnings. So big push higher. And then going into today, you have day two, which is a break over the prior day high. I patiently waited off the open. We got this first move down, got a nice retest of this pre-market structure and an aggressive turn. We caught this turn. I managed to take some profit at 20%. Premiums did get up as much as 50%. And then it just got caught inside the day one candle, which is always the risk of these kind of day one fade into continuation. They're usually either very aggressive and will continue higher or just get kind of caught and trap around. And a lot of times will still end up working. They just take longer. And I wasn't interested in, like a swing or anything like that. Exactly on that. On this today, I was more so looking for that scenario to play out where you get this kind of aggressive push. Market alignment was there. Everything was kind of aligned. It just got stuffed is what it is. I mean, there's really not much else I can do with that. And so this to me is a good example of a good loss to take. It's an objectively good setup that just didn't pan out the way I wanted to. So yeah, that's that. Nothing really too much else to say with that. The RSI got really reset. RVOL was good. Just didn't have enough juice today. And it's starting to turn the corner here a little bit. But anyway, that was Uber. As far as trades that did work that I thought were good, we've got a couple. So PLTR, I called this one out in the room and on stream. But this was a little bit, I would say, more nuanced play than what I normally do. But it was straightforward in terms of what the setup was. The first more obvious one was a front side short. So this is, obviously a big move down on earnings yesterday. You get your move down. on the open yesterday, that trap, but ended up fading, right? So this tells you that there's not a whole lot of interest just yet for longs, as the day one move just kind of fizzled out, right? So you have that to go off of, and then going into today, this 190 level is critical, very big spot on the higher time frame, and on the open, so we get this kind of push up. RSI got really bearish, and then we tag and even trap just slightly above this key level 190 and get totally slapped down very aggressively. And this move, even the backtest and return here, is very tradable for a fast day trade, which end up paying extremely well. Then this is where the long actually set up, and I think this is a very good two-way trade objectively here. We have ATR, and I talk through this all in the stream, so none of this is in hindsight whatsoever. We have -1 ATR, 182.15, and then what stood out that I thought was kind of interesting, and I did not realize until I looked at the higher time frame in real time, you actually had a gap fill here. So there was a gap fill from Friday, October 25th here, right here, around this 181.60 level. That perfectly filled that gap fill and then turned. So to me, and I did trade this with shares. I didn't alert it because, like I said, I'm just trying to keep it light. And this did allow me to put green on the board for shares in my other account, but really simple idea. So your thesis is, okay, this could act as support, right? You also have the context of the market holding. That is super important. And I mentioned that PLTR could be a signal or indicator for the overall market today. So seeing this hold any kind of support, which there was confluence here for multiple things, was a positive. And to me, the risk reward was so good that it was worth taking a stab. Now, the premiums probably didn't do a ton here. Maybe they did okay. I didn't actually look. But as far as shares, you're risking on this turn, you're risking $1 for this to move a max move of $7 on the day. I ended up selling into this move and then trailing out somewhere in here before this turn. I just walked away from it. But it was just a super simple two-way opportunity I thought was very good. So it was encouraging. While I didn't put up big numbers or anything today, I am encouraged by seeing price action well and calling it out and seeing things work. That's really helpful to get kind of dialed back.
Pullbacks here and some names.
So that was PLTR.
IWM is pushing into the
LMND,
recovery.
nice call out by Sarang today.
Back down
so day one
sharply.
Earnings, opening drive. This sweep and turn is a really good entry for opening drives with tight stops. If you missed that, you could trade the opening range break here, which is what Sarang called out, and that ended up being a really nice move. Then you have SPX. Failed breakdown, so pretty straightforward. Space Monkey caught this one. Thought this was a fantastic play. If I wasn't, if I didn't enter Uber, I would have taken this trade. I did like it a lot. You have this failed breakdown of the RTH session here at 67.64 and turn higher. Pretty straightforward. And then Tesla, I was busy with other things, for the room and everything during the middle of the day today. So I didn't catch this and wasn't interested in trading anymore. But this was a good opportunity, just knowing that the pay package is coming up. We know 453 is important. V-shaped recovery, a lot of positives to point out here technically. And you expect to have some kind of squeeze potential. And I think the main simple target here is at least ATR, which we got straight into. Got a reaction. It's actually trying to push beyond it. But this was just a very nice technical setup with a run up into the pay package. So premium is probably a bit inflated on this. We're still holding the 550 calls for January that we rolled up. Those are now, I think, going green, about break even last time I checked. Let's just take a quick peek. So Tesla exactly break even right now. So looking just to hold. I was going to put a hedge in. I, in hindsight, really wish I put that 440 put hedge that I mentioned, because that went crazy. That actually paid really, really nice for weeklies. But anyway, is what it is. It's hindsight now. I'm just going to ride with the calls and, yeah, go with it. That's it. All right, so active positions unchanged. I don't believe, I'm doing this a little early. I don't believe Space Monkey's in anything for overnight. Watch list I just thought I would do here with you all kind of on the fly. So I think Tesla over 470 is a nice one to look at as a run up for the shareholder vote, which I'm going to put this in the catalyst category because it's known. The 480 call above 470. Now the thing with Tesla is that we'll find out around 2 p.m. So this is going to be something intraday that we should be able to participate in. All right, and just giving you a little look into my process, if you don't already know, the names that had catalyst today will set up the day 2 move. So LMND would be a day 2 continuation. So LMND, let's see, 82 call, probably 85 call over 80, and may switch that 80. I actually need to double check and see what how the premiums are structured on this one. Let me just check real fast. Let's see, we've got every dollar. Okay, so then I would say 82 call over that. AMD, we had day 1 today. Tomorrow is day 2 trade. So 260 to 50 calls and 262 50 call above 260. All right, and then let's see what else. Uber could be something interesting. I think more of a swing on that one at this point. PLTR, big fill breakdown 185. I'm just using this as a market signal. Over 190 I think would be worth watching, so we'll put this over here, 195 call above 190 as something to watch. I also think S&P could be something. We'll leave that out for now. Bitcoin, pretty nice move. Let's look at Oklo coin. I don't know why I said Oklo in this, like I was implying that it's in the same category as crypto. It's not, but I was just thinking of these areas of the market rather. IonQ. All right, so not too interested. I'm very interested in IonQ below 5227. Meta was a really nice call. We walked through that as well from the watch list today. Let's go through the big names and we'll keep a brief watch list here. Apple's kind of sideways. It's all going to be about Tesla tomorrow. Tesla is the big one. This Google relative strength we called out early today. Excuse me, 290 calls on Google. Did I just say 290? Is that right? Yeah, that is right, isn't it? 290 call above 286. Jeez, Google's been crazy. I remember when I played the day 1 earnings here and then had some runners for shares, and I was like, I should just hold these shares forever and see what happens. And trail like the gap low, 225. Boy, do I wish I did that. This is up casual 26% since then. All right, so other setups. Amazon's been so disappointing. Relative weakness in Microsoft. Netflix has felt impossible to trade. Not a whole lot else standing out to me, guys, so I want to be mindful of the time here. Let's go to quickly look at what's up and down. Okay, so we're seeing solar. What's FSLR doing? Wow, okay, FSLR, nice move. QS could be something. Let's get an alert on this. Okay, solar there's got to be news in this space. They posted earnings. Okay, this is actually really interesting. I hate these names, to be honest. I hate trading them. I should be clear on that. They're just hard to trade. Huge move on Rivian. Run technically does look a little bit better. FSLR. What a move. I was trying to swing 300s on this one and it just shook me out. I called that out and it got shook out literally on this candle. Sometimes I feel like I'm the worst at swing trading. I don't know what it is. I got it on this move here. This shook me out and then look at what we're doing. It's crazy. Getting better at it. I'm just a day trader by trade. So, all right. FSLR is definitely worth watching. So what we'll do is we'll put FSLR, Sedge, day 2 continuation. All right, and that's a pretty good list for tomorrow. I will be keeping an eye on Oklo, IonQ. I don't have too many thoughts on those yet. This Amgen was something I was watching for a while. Huge move. That's day 2 as well. So Amgen, we'll add that one. Amgen. See, let's say 325 calls. Okay. It's a pretty good list here. I'm going to wrap up the call now. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and evening. Just FYI, myself and J Money and John will have some travel coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be a bit more AFK, away from the keyboard and out of pocket. So if you need anything, I might be a little slow on the DMs, but everything else the show will go on as normal, as they say. So I might not do the recording for the daily market recap the rest of the week, but I'll put out a note regardless in the watch list like usual. So, all right, guys, have a fantastic night. I will see you all in the room tomorrow morning.